Hey, you doing okay? You settling in well? I figured I should probably check up on you, considering my safe house isn't the most glamorous location. Oh, good. I'm glad you're doing well. Listen, I have some more information about this entire situation, about your hit. But first, I just wanted to ask you something. And don't worry, it's nothing major, it's just a small question. Just a minor question here. When were you going to tell me that you witnessed a mafia kidnapping? Yes, I know about that. So, are you going to tell me what happened, or am I going to have to run through the details? Listen, I need to confirm these things with you. I need to know every detail so that I can protect you as best as I can. I know this whole situation is crazy, I know. But how's about I tell you what's happened since this morning, and when I talk about what happened, you tell me whether I'm right or wrong in what I'm saying, okay? You can tell me if I get any details wrong, alright? Okay. So, I got a call from my handler this morning, and yes, I have a handler. Every person at the agency does. Or every hitman at the agency, I should say. Every hitman has a handler to make sure that they're doing their job and not going off the rails, like I am. So, my handler called me this morning, and it turns out he went to your place. And he went there and saw that you weren't there, obviously, and that there was no sign of a struggle. There was no upturned furniture, there was no blood, things like that. So he asked me what happened, and I said, I killed you the night before and disposed of your body, tried to make it as clean as I could. And I took that opportunity to ask about your hit and the reason why it was called. And my handler told me that you witnessed a crime committed by the Cassiano family. Is that right? Okay, good. He told me that you reported it to the police and you gave a statement. I was quite curious, naturally, to know what happened. So I hit up some of the tech people at the agency and they gave me access to your police statement. It said you witnessed a kidnapping. And one of the family members took off their glove, and that's when he saw the family emblem tattooed on their hand. Is that right? Yeah. So, you witnessed that, you reported it to the police, and they found the members of the Cassiano family who committed the crime, and they arrested them. And I assume that's as far as you know, correct? Thought so. So, after the family got arrested, they weren't in there for long. They paid their way out, like every other crime family does around this place. And They found out it was you who reported what they did. And they were coming after you. But they couldn't do it themselves. They had too many eyes on them, apparently. So they contracted the agency to do it instead. Obviously, you know the rest. So now we're caught up. Unless there's anything else you want to tell me. No? There better not be. I just wish you told me this when we first met. I mean, half of my speech was me telling you I didn't know why people wanted you dead. Okay, I'll give you that. You didn't know that was the reason. But that's a pretty big thing to happen to somebody. I mean, you witnessed organised crime by one of the biggest crime families in the city. And you don't think to tell me? It doesn't matter if it happened months ago. It's still a pretty significant thing to happen to somebody. Something very out of the ordinary. Okay, no, it wouldn't be out of the ordinary for me, but... Look, we can sit and argue about this all day, but the point is, you should have told me this way sooner. Because I didn't know this earlier, I've had to take so many extra steps now. Because if you told me when we first met, then I'd know what we were up against. Whereas now I've had to take extra steps to find that out. Do you get what I'm saying? We could have been in a much better position by now, if you had just told me. It's okay. I forgive you. I know this is very scary for you. So, I understand if you were too shocked to say anything back then. But anyway, let's just focus on right now. Right now, my plan is to just get you out of the city. Get us out of the city. Now I know I'm up against a crime family, I would rather not get into too much direct confrontation with them. Especially not with the Castellanos, considering last time. Yeah, we have had a run-in before, but it's not something worth talking about. Is that how I got into killing? No. I got into this hitman business because of my grandfather, actually. My father died when I was young. No, he didn't get killed, thank God. He died of illness. And after he died, my grandfather, my father's father, took me in, and he raised me. Oh, my mother was already gone. She died giving birth to me. It's okay, it's not your fault. My grandfather was a hitman. And when I was younger, I accidentally got access to his private room, where he held all his weaponry and all the information about his targets. I remember his face. He was horrified that I found out how to get in there. He saw me playing with the butterfly knives and I couldn't reach the guns on the wall. I was too short. But he was absolutely mortified seeing me play with the weapons he had. But I thought they were so cool. And he told me not to go in there again. And I didn't for a while. Until I eventually found my way back in there. And he eventually just gave in and started teaching me self-defense. Started teaching me how to use the weapons, and I actually did a pretty good job, if I do say so myself. He was pretty surprised to see how well I was doing. He said I picked it up really quickly. So he just kept on teaching me. When I was a bit older, when I could actually reach the gun rack, he taught me how to use guns. And when it came to finding a job, I at first went into self-defense training, teaching people how to use guns at the shooting ranges, you know? And eventually I learned about the money that hitmen make, because that's the one thing he would never tell me. He never told me how much he made. But then I found out, and I wanted in. My grandfather did try to stop me, but like what happened when I was younger, he just realised there was no point. He stopped trying to prevent the inevitable. And that's when I became a hitman. Hit woman? Hit person? You know what I mean. Oh, no. My grandfather died a couple years ago. Yeah, I got no one left now. Haven't been very lucky with my family, have I? You get used to it, though. Get used to being alone. You don't really tend to think about it anymore, because you've gotten so used to it. It's a very lonely profession, really. It doesn't really allow you to connect with people, do things that every other person does, make friends, date other people. You don't really get that luxury. This safe house was actually his. Yeah, it got left to me when he died. How did my grandfather die? Well, he... Shit! No! Hide under here, quickly, come on, go, go, go. I'm gonna go see who's there. And do not come out from there until I come to get you, okay? No matter what happens, just stay there. The agency's found us. We can't stay here. We gotta get moving now. Come on, let's get out through this back entrance. I must have been followed coming back from the agency. Nobody knows about that safe house. We're gonna have to run for a while, and then we'll go to a motel, and I'm gonna end this, okay? I'm not gonna let anybody harm you. I don't care how many people I have to kill. I will not stop until you are safe. I promise.